And there's really strict rules they have to abide by. They have to be there, they have to see their parole officer, they have to go to the classes.
Sure.
And if they do that, when they reach the end of the program, they'll have wonderful skills and they'll be able to find work. And I think that probably Northcott helps them to find
Sure.
jobs.
Sure.
And that we just got a really awesome another plan from the city of Milwaukee, and it's been approved, and they're going to destruct some homes.
Oh, destruct.
Destruct, take down.
Deconstruct.
Yeah, deconstruct.
Yeah.
Excuse me, deconstruct.
Well, yeah.
So that's going to bring some revenue into Northcott because Northcott will get paid by the city to take down and these folks.
This is abandoned house.
Yes, yeah, and that's
Section.
and there's a couple of other. Last week at the board meeting, there's a couple of other things going with the city that are in progress, but they couldn't tell us because it hasn't been formalized yet. But so all good. The city just really loves Northcott and wants to support them, and that's a really good thing because they do good things for the people in the community. Good things.
And that was started with some Methodist women.
Yeah.
That was us. That
A woman in Milwaukee just saw a need.
was us. Be proud of it.
Yes.
And she
Yeah.
started it,
Uh-huh.
plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been going, it's had its difficulties over the years, especially lately, they've lost some funding. They lost their daycare, and that was helping to fund some of these other programs and stuff. So,
But
they've
we're
had
back on track.
they've had their difficulties
Good.
financially and stuff over the years, but they've always managed to keep going. And
Yeah.
have a wonderful group of workers down there and that type of thing that are really good about
You
it.
should write updates for the Catch Division about North.
Okay, yeah, I can.
Sure.
Yeah, you should. You should write
Because that's
reports.
interesting.
Okay, what else do you know about the area of Redbird? Can you think of anything now that you've been really taught?
Well, I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna, moonshine. We're in the mountains.
Do you guys know what moonshine
They're in the
is?
mountains.
Oh, okay. I thought
Moonshine.
that may be such an old word that I didn't know if you knew.
No, they still use it. They still use it. Have you watched the TV show Duck Dynasty? Don't they talk about it on there? I've never seen it. I don't know what it's all about.
I don't watch it, yeah.
My dad likes it.
Yeah. No, I don't know what it's about, but I've heard about it, and I've seen all their stuff for sale in stores and stuff.
Oh,
I'm just
Jack
going,
Dynasty.
people are actually liking this. Well, I hate to tell you, but my ex-husband used to have a still in our basement.
Okay, good, we've got that recorded.
Don't bother me. It's the truth. He did. He had a still in our basement, but he didn't sell it. And he didn't. So I don't know if
The
that's a good
things
thing
you
or not. But
learn
anything.
at Mission U, when you go home and your parents ask you what you learned, I
Yeah.
heard what a still was.
Tell him that Grandma's husband had a still in her basement. Okay. Your dad will understand.
And then you
It's
can
fun,
tell
huh?
about all the things you learned about Kentucky and Redbird and Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know what moonshine is.
Mm.
I've not drank it. I'm not a drinker. Okay, so what else have you learned this week about other things?
And the other
That
classes
you can
did.
share with.
Yeah, share some of your activities.
Well,
Tell us what class you used.
me and Megan took climate
Megan and
justice. Megan and I, I'm
Thank
sorry.
Mhm.
Took climate justice, so we learned about how we can better the environment and reduce our carbon footprints and things like that.
I take a class.
You took
the
pool class.
Yeah.
Yeah. She took the pool class and the Dairy Queen class. And what else?
Mom
did
did
you
it
do?
too.
Oh, no, Mom wouldn't do something like that. Would your mom?
No, she went to Dairy
Not my daughter. Mm-mm.
So
So
what did you do?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I took the missionary conference class.
Uh-huh.
With
So
the-
this.
with the big people, with the adults.
Okay.
I didn't have a choice.
No, she
Good
was
for you.
told to take that because of her going on the seminar trip.
Yeah,
They thought
sure.
that would be helpful.
That's a good, sure, sure.
Yeah.
You can have a more bigger picture, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I think that is the that environmental climate matter. That's fun to learn.
Yeah, I really liked it. I'm glad I
Yeah,
took
it was interesting.
Mhm.
There's place it's like Mississippi or Missouri where
Mm.
and it's one of them where all of the plastic bottles
Mhm.
go there and then they make plastic bottles. I think
So
so
they
all
melt them down and then
so
they
all the
use them.
chemicals get
So
released.
recycling.
Yep,
Yeah.
so it's called
Mhm.
Cancer Valley because your
Yeah.
chances of getting cancer is so much higher because all the chemicals and stuff are in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You get to
in
see
the
the
process.
picture with the birds that have all the plastic bottle caps.
Oh.
But I've
Yeah.
seen
That's
pictures like
amazing.
that online. But no, it, like I didn't know recycling could cause such harm to like the environment. Like I know it's good to get rid of it and
Mhm.
reuse it, but like remelting it causes so much damage to the air and like to people who like have to breathe it in and things like
Yeah.
that. So that's
Yeah.
something I learned.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Something that you and I can do very, small step, but really do impact big for the whole universe, whole cosmos, right? That's very important. Global community need to really practice that, those very detailed matter recycling or prevention for many different.
Did she talk anything about the use of plastic bottles?
Water bottles
Slightly.
you're talking about?
Slightly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just that you should not use them because they don't. Most of the time, they don't end up being recycled.
Because
Recycled.
they
They
said like
just
80% of plastic made like years back is still on the planet. Like
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That doesn't break
and
down.
hasn't even been melted down to be reused. It's either sitting in our oceans or sitting in landfills, and it's not
Uh-huh.
nothing's being done with it. So.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So avoid plastic.
Well, yeah, and then I also learned, my Spanish teacher taught me this during school year actually, that when you refill plastic bottles, chemical, like toxics go into it because they're not meant to be reused.
Mhm.
So then drinking that it's cancer causing.
Yeah.
So that's something I learned in school.
Yeah.
But,
I have learned over the years that everything is cancer causing.
And then today we talked about how it was like the psychological or whatever of recycling. So this news station put out 2 tables and they had like plastic cups filled with soda and one had a trash can by it and one had a recycling can by it. And the one that had the trash can, people would reuse their cups for new soda every time and then throw it in the trash. But the one that had the recycling, they would get a new cup every time because they were recycling and they thought it was better and everything. But they actually consumed more and made more waste because they used a new cup every time instead of just reusing it.
That's
because they
interesting.
thought they were doing good. For
Yeah,
the
they thought they were doing
Yeah.
good and they
Interesting.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, because she did say like she compared it to like weight loss and people who have like Fitbit step trackers don't lose weight because they're like, oh, I'm walking all these steps, I can like go eat more or something like that, so then it like evens itself out. And she compared it to that, which really like set that in for me.
Mhm.
So like that like made the connection for me. So it was an interesting comparison.
So what could you do instead of using plastic water bottles?
Like get the
They said glass is always
yeah,
like
using more glass.
using more glass.
Or even the like plastic ones that you keep and reuse. That
The
are like not
reusable
like
Yeah,
this,
the
or,
harder
like
ones.
the
They're
harder ones that are
reusable,
like
reused.
yeah. So like using those instead, and then like they talked about how one church had like everyone bring in like coffee mugs from home that they stopped like that they didn't use. So then like the United Methodist Men or something like washed dishes for a year as people brought in their own mugs instead of using those like styrofoam throwaway
Yeah.
ones for coffee after church
And then
service.
a lot of them have started because there's a lot of coffee drunk on church on Sundays.
Yeah.
They take all the coffee grounds and they'll put that into a compost bin.
Yes.
And they'll use that for their gardens and everything.
Do you know if your
So-
churches are doing that?
I think
That
our church does.
that's an idea you can take
Our
back to your
our church has our own set of coffee mugs that they use, but
And the coffee grounds, are they?
I don't know what they do
You'll
with the
have to
coffee
check
grounds. I'll
on
have to talk to my pastor or someone about that. I don't know where those go, but I do know we have our own glass ones that we
Mhm.
use. So.
That's good.
We have ladies in our church that freeze coffee grounds and reuse them.
Ooh.
Really? Can you do that?
I texted them.
Not well.
Oh. Okay, maybe composting would be a better use of it.
Much better.
I heard you came back at the, we have a composter, and this summer they decided to start collecting the bottle caps,
Uh-huh.
and so they're gonna reuse them and make
He's so
curtains out of them,
Oh, really?
and like the hanging curtains.
Uh-huh.
And then they're gonna do mosaics with them.
Uh-huh.
And so, because I worked in the library for 6 weeks, I got the pleasure of taking, they had 1,000 of the bottle caps and poking a hole with a hammer.
How many?
About 1,000. Wow. And they're still collecting them. And so I had to poke a hole with a nail and a hammer that kept coming apart.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have the kids string the fishing line to them.
Oh, sure.
To make a curtain, huh?
Oh, neat.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Another way of using up something, yeah.
Mhm.
And
And one really easy thing you can do is quit using plastic straws. When you go to restaurants, tell them you don't want a straw. That's it. I mean, you don't really need straws, right?
Yes.
You can just drink out of the glass. So I'm trying to remember that when I go into restaurants and tell them, don't bring me a straw.
Well, I forgot who said this, but in plenary yesterday, they were like talking about how they bring their own plastic silverware with them to
Kathy
restaurants.
was saying that,
or the
Kathy Mug,
containers.
her own
Yeah, and I was
leftover
like,
containers.
yeah, her own leftover containers,
Yeah.
her own silverware, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's something I need to start doing.
Yeah.
But like that would be a really good way to reduce it, because I know like constantly when I get takeout or something, they gave me plastic forks, and I just like throw them away because I use my own silverware when I take it home. So I
well,
just
they're usually in like a styrofoam box that you take home.
something-
A
a lot of them are.
foam type
A
box
lot of them
anyway,
are.
you know, and that's not good either.
yeah.
So this one woman carries like Tupperware containers and stuff in her car. So that when she has leftovers at a restaurant, she doesn't have to bring home the takeout boxes, so.
Or even keeping like a big tub in your like bathroom to fill up the water while your water's heating up for your shower. That's a really good idea. I think I'm gonna bring that up to my family. Be like, we need to keep a big jar and fill it up when we're waiting for the water to heat up. Because I know I won't get in the shower unless it's like really hot. So I'd like stand there for like 5 minutes wasting water.
Kind of all matter to have a choice, right? How I'm gonna choose to be, how my consciousness that will drive for not only me or my own comfort, but for the whole together, living together. I think that's it. Since we're living in America, which is an advanced country than any other place, but we are also have this consuming habit. So we are eating a lot, spending a lot, wasting a lot, and so this kind of conversation actually is so important for us, because God's creation, how we preserve, that's our faith too, isn't it? It's not simply convenient or comfortable or easy for us, but how we see through so that God's creation can be preserved well, so that future generation will continue enjoying in God's creation. I think that's probably all about, right? 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 Higher probably, huh?
Mia had a project for her class. You did a craft thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Carving, so.
Tell us about that. Oh, do you have it with you?
If it didn't get smashed in my bag, I think I got it.
And tell us why you did that.
To learn about Alaska.
Alaska.
So it's soap carving that tried to be a cross, but it could be also a bird, because it doesn't want to stand up.
And the soap
It's
represents
made
what?
out of, it was supposed to represent stone, but it's ivory soap
Uh-huh.
with a plastic knife.
You did it all, huh? Carving.
Yeah. So the
Good.
second try worked. First time I must have carved too deep, and the one side of the cross was broken off.
So the cross means to you. Cross
What does
means
it mean to you?
to you.
I don't know, it was just easy to do.
Well, for me, you see, look at the crossroad, then crossroad United Methodist Church. You know, cross, of course, the meeting point, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why it's first my interest, and then also that horizontal and this vertical together. So that means some kind of harmony, some kind of life-giving. Of course, not only crucifixion of Jesus Christ, but the symbol to be encountering point together. The two different angle come along. I think that's more meaningful. So when you carve that, I think you see that not only this whole, just a shape, but this word really needed, because we need to embrace each other. We need to really meeting, encountering those who are different. Yeah. And, well, Mia and I have a similar blood, but yes, right. But I think we are meeting so many different people in this world. That's the beauty. That's God's creation. But how these different people come along together, that's the cross, kind of encountering.
You just came back from Korea, right?
I've been actually March.
When you
For
went on
the-
that trip with.
Oh, that's the last year.
Oh, was it
That's
last year?
last year, October. Our Wisconsin conference leaders went.
Because you
to-
went with our new pastor's daughter.
Okay. But this March, the General Board of Global Ministry, that opened a regional office in Asia, which is located in Seoul. So that's why I went there to open it. I'm currently serving as a president for the General Board of Global Ministry, and there are lots of missions happening in all of the world. So on behalf of the church, I'm working those kind of area. So yes, that's why I've been back.
So do you all know what the General Board of Global Ministries is? That the bishop is the president? That's pretty important stuff.
We talked about it a little bit last class. So.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. So what'd you learn about that?
Julia told us a little
Yeah,
bit
Julia
about
was
it.
telling us.
Oh,
'Cause they were-
Julie Myshina? Or what'd you say, Julia?
Yeah.
It was Julia, right?
Yeah.
The young woman?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
Jane.
basically, they were like
Oh,
throwing out all these
sorry.
acronyms, and she was sitting next to us, and she goes, "Do you know what these are?" And we're like, "We've heard of them, but we don't know exactly what they are." She kind of explained it to us.
Uh-huh.
Because I've like heard about it at annual conference and all these things, and like so I was like, I didn't know exactly what they did or what they were, but now I have a better understanding.
And this is the person to ask too about any questions you have about it. He can answer your
Yeah.
questions
It's
about
called Stump the Bishop.
How many questions can we throw out there that he can't answer?
Yes. So that we have, I think, about 13 different board and agency as a whole church, like General Board of Global Ministry, General Board of Church and Society, and then a General Commission on the role of the woman. That that is it, and then where's the higher education and campus ministry. That's another important matter, and discipleship ministry. It's more like a material for Bible study, spiritual nurture, and all different things come out from there. And then of course we have United Methodist woman. We have United Methodist man, and then the whole administrative finance, that denominational operation happened through General Council on Finance and Administration. That's GCFNA. That's another.
Another one of those acronyms.
Those acronyms. So all those area like religion, race, like many matter of racism, fighting for racism, more equity, gender, power, and all race and all cultural equity that we are talking about for the church mission. Then General Commission on Regional Race they have. So and then they have also national plan like national Korean plan, national Hispanic plan, national Native American plan, and national Asia Pacific plan, and then BMC like a Black Church for Renewal, BMCR. That's another Afro-American.
It's a lot.
Lots of organizations.
Methodist
Yes.
right to plan.
Yeah. But they're doing amazing job Of course, we are doing one thing together. That means God's mission together. But how to do it? The different responsibility, they kind of carrying it out. But they are all one spirit, one faith, one church. That's very important too. That's why United Methodist Church is connectional church.
That's
You,
another
you
one of
and
those
I
terms.
are brothers and sisters. You know that in God,
Well,
right?
that's pretty cool. You can say the bishop's my brother.
Yes, oh yes, we are brothers and sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, you just go home and tell your brother Christian that you've got a new brother.
Sure,
The
sure.
bishop.
So we are all related. That's the important thing. Your teacher talked about like language, how you speak and so on. The violence come out, this hate language, right? Hate. Nowadays are some hate group all around in the world. They are kind of stirred the violence, stirred the hate, and stirred the human, bigotry. And so that's why you're learning through this kind of mission is so important. So you can live with such a consciousness that you're gonna contribute and you're gonna really continue serving neighbors, loving neighbors. Right? Cool?
Yeah.
Yes, cool. Yeah. It's cool.
So what else have you done this week? Tell the bishop the other things that we.
How about yesterday afternoon?
Went to our house, assisted living, and we made a craft with some of the residents there.
So you went to play with the.
We made like a wreath for them to hang on.
Have you sang for them?
That's one
We-
thing I don't.
We made a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Sure.
Brought a lot of excitement.
Yeah, absolutely. They were probably fun to see them.
Oh, it was fantastic. And I was so proud of the girls because they actually talked to the people. They actually had conversations with
Sure.
them. It wasn't that they were just sitting there like, they actually.
Yeah. For me as a pastor, right, serving church, and now I'm a bishop, but I've been always enjoying to have a visit those people shut in the room, in the house, or nursing home, or that other center there. Even hospital room, I am so enjoying that because you can befriend, you can really learn about their personal life story and so on. At the same time, also be present to them so they can have refreshing, relationship too, right? But as a pastor, I've been go around, visit them, pray for them, and talk about, that how the church is doing and all. So that's the most fun thing. If somebody asks me, what have you been enjoying it for your life as a pastor or as a bishop? I think meeting people, meeting people like you guys. Such a young hero here, heroine. So we have that beauty, that connection, human connection. Sometimes needed care, so we go visit them, play what you did it.
And the nice things about the connections that I've made over the years, I first met you many years ago when you were a pastor, and Gloria and Mary and that, well, Mia's been with me now for quite a while. Stacy over there is my daughter.
She's my grandma.
It's those connections, and it doesn't matter if you only see them once a year. You still have that
Still carrying it
connection.
on, yeah.
And you always know that if you need them for conversation or that type of stuff, you've got people.
That's a power tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
sustaining each other some way. You have a caring circle.
Right, and you need that.
So when you're lonely, call Stacy.
I'm not usually lonely.
No lonely at all.
I'm not a lonely type person.
She kind of keep doing
She
something.
kind of finds ways to
keep busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun, fun.
And pick on people.
Pick on people.
She
I
just
don't pick
collects
on
people. She collects
I
people,
have never
doesn't
picked
she?
on you this week. I have been sweetness and kindness to you at all times. You should see me when I get rough.
So what, do you guys have any questions for the bishop? What would you, pick his brain, what would you like to know?
Mm.
Do you know what a bishop does? What's his position?
It's a
Or
very,
her?
very important guy.
Very important
That's
guy.
No, not very, very, very.
Very, very important guy.
Limited time.
What about a girl?
Work.
Oh, okay. You
He's
think
not a girl.
you think a girl can be a bishop? You
Yes,
think so?
we have a,
Oh,
we
you
have
think
a,
so?
we have more than 20,
Mm.
yes, in our churches.
I remember the first one we had.
Wisconsin has a first woman bishop in the United Methodist Church.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we did.
Her name is Marjorie Matthew.
Yep.
So she was an engineer, and she was a factory worker when she was young, and she been good leaders, and later she been elected as a bishop and sent it to Wisconsin. So we
Yeah.
had a privilege.
Yeah.
First woman
Is it time?
bishop in Wisconsin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun history.
She was a good bishop.
And we had a few more after that, women bishops.
I don't think we've ever had a bad bishop.
After a few years later, you will say that.
I might change my mind shortly.
Actually, the Michelle actually out of the room. She put the e-news, and last week our United Methodist Communication UMCOM. That's another commission, the General Commission on Communication. That's the UMCOM. They have a fun, all the material, the video, and then all different printing material. We have United Methodist Publishing House too. That's another agency. It's a big one. It's actually Nashville, Tennessee. You go.
Uh-huh.
Publishing house is Bingdon Press is one of the top printing company.
Mhm.
And then we have UMCOM, which is a beautiful facility. They have one of the top equipment in that. So many artists, many musicians using it for that center too. Actually, they produced it, My Story. My
I
faith
saw that
story.
one. I
So-
saw that one. That's
so-
the one. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I just want to
A
show
book?
you.
Did you write a book?
No, it's a video that.
Oh,
Video,
it's a
they talk
video.
about.
Yeah.
Video.
Yes,
Oh.
they talk about video
Don't-
about
aren't you on the
root
e-news
of faith
for the
in Korea,
Wisconsin?
United Methodist
I think
Bishop's
so.
Journey. This is a brand new. Last week they released it.
I think I got it to the email for.
Yeah.
You can
Can
sign
we-
up for the
Michelle.
emails.
Can we watch that?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Like
Did
from the
you?
Methodist Church. I think
Yeah.
I've been getting those. I don't know how. I think my pastor might have put my email in
Put
there.
your-
But I've been getting them, and I'm like, what?
Did you sign up for anything at annual conference?
I might have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heck if I know.
Why don't you guys go around the table? I've
I
seen
need
it. I watched it on.
Yeah.
At home.
Judgment.
Mm.
Very good.
I think I got it through the email.
Yeah. Here.
Just don't trip.
Mm.
Just a minute. This is me.
Yep, that's him.
Hmm? 2008 General Conference. This is Aung San Suu Kyi,
Oh.
Nobel Prize
wow.
winner. This Catherine Suri. This is Korea. We're going my home.
Yes,
You guys going my home?
Her meeting was born.
Yeah. Confucian family. Then when I was 16 years old, that time, that one of the whole, the new church movement in Kangma expanded it, and then one local preacher came to our village, which is very protected by Confucian, the tradition. Grandfather of mine and was one of the elders, and the preacher came and continually, persistently asked him to offer the land. I don't know how God persuaded my grandfather. He said, "Oh, take this rocky hill," which was next to my home. And so this preacher started to build the church. I was a high schooler at the time. One night I came back home, I saw that this old preacher is working in the garden, like a field, trying to clean up the rock and put it in the church building. So I just step in and say, "May I help you? Can I carry the rock?" And that is the moment he holds me, my hand, and said, "Yes, thank you, but God loves you." So, some way my step into that, that cleaning the ground for the church, the preacher hold my hand and say, "God loves you." Then I was really cut up by the Spirit. It's amazing how God is mighty God. And through such a turbulence of the history of this village, the gospel became a center seed, and it grew into, and that influenced me in my life. 6 years later, I reconciled with the family, and well, I think they didn't accept the Christian faith as their religion, but they understood what I am walking into and what is my commitment. So gradual acceptance about gospel in my life, they embraced it in that way. This island became an entrance, the gate for the modern civilization, such a historical place. But now it's right there in the witness of division between North and South Korea. This is deeply territorial area. So the healing and reconciliation is a church duty here. For reunification between North and South, because the war was such a deep wound that so many hurt that war created in this village and this land. But church, I hope, they will continue carrying on the bigger future as a kind of one nation between North and South, but they become a tool for the gospel for the whole world. This is location, probably God's whispering, the gospel of peace, gospel of life, gospel of reconciliation. I think that become a centerpiece. That's my hope. This is North Korea right there. It's only maybe about 15 miles away. This. So that's the place I grown up.
They showed that at annual conference, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's
I was
a
there.
premier. You were there?
Yeah, I was one of the
You
youth
did?
delegates there.
Yes. So, and then last week they released it to the whole church, so people can watch that. So that's me as a home.
Mira has not been back too.
It's a story that I shared that how I become a Christian, right? Because American missionary came and they spread it out, the gospel, and I'm the one of the fruit. And then now I'm here, but it definitely influence in my life is American church, and I'm be back here as an immigrant, but serving our church here as a bishop of the church as a privilege.
Mhm.
So that I constantly related that from all time, our ancestry here sent missionary out, and then like me, I've been impacted by. There are a million people out there who've been influenced like that.
Mhm.
So that's why the missionary activity and our commitment is so important. Our church work, not only our church maintenance, but we make impact to people's life.
Mm.
So that those people who doesn't have hope see the hope, and not much that opportunity in their life journey, but they trying to see the new opportunity because you have faith in Christ Jesus, right? And there is enough that mandate that God's love you and I can carry on. That's a missionary life, and that's a mission work. So that's a mission you is so important, because this is I am so proud of it. I think taught almost 12th week, the mission, former School for Christian Mission, regional school, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, California, many places I taught. And now I'm not able to because so many other activities I even participate. But this mission you become such a ground to nurture the leaders like you. But it's the theme of the study all the time I see is very prophetic, very advanced thing. So I always say, UMW is always advanced advanced almost 10 to 20 years than a Lakewood church. So that is so important. That's why, especially today, I met with the young leaders. This is great. And thank you, teacher. You are doing great ministry.
When you were talking about missionary coming to you,
Mhm.
how many of you know a missionary? Personally?
One spoke at Mission Trip when I was there.
Mhm.
Other than that, I don't know.
Mhm.
Don't you realize that you were all missionaries?
Mhm. Uh-huh. That's another, yes, you're right, that's a very significant. Every day you representing Christ, Jesus, in your life, in school, in your living room, in your, any activity you do, you are the proximity of God. Because God is not there except you, through you, right? Yeah. That's amazing. That's a good talk. We're all missionary.
I have a question. So do you know what Global Young People's Convocation is? Because I got nominated to go to South Africa next year with that, but I don't know what it is exactly.
You
Like,
see,
Very cool.
yes, a whole global,
Yeah.
the United Methodist young people gather together. I think this is every 4 years or I don't know how many times they are meeting. So they have a conference, and they are talking about what is important for church, but the life as a whole in the world together. If you have chance, you go.
yeah, it's in South Africa next summer.
Yes,
And I
Durban,
got
Durban, South Africa.
Okay. And I got nominated, so I just submitted my video and written
Good for
Yeah,
you.
vote for
Good
me.
for you.
Because, I think my pastor nominated me. I don't know exactly, but I think he did.
Mhm.
And then because I want to be a pastor,
Mhm.
so yeah, which is really cool. I want to go, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that people want me.
Well, let
So
us
why
know. Let us know.
why you want to be a pastor?
I don't know. I just grew up with I grew up with the church, and my pastors have just had such a big influence in my life, and I've been close with every single one of my pastors that's gone through my church, and I just love spreading the word of God, and I teach Sunday school, and I do an extra Bible study with the 3rd and 4th graders.
So you have a really deep feeling about call.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So,
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. So what would you like to be, Mia? You are some kind of biology and all
Working
the
in a hospital.
hospital. I think that's another good missionary work too, helping
Tell them how
those who
many
need.
times you've been in the hospital. How many surgeries?
62.
Hmm?
62.
62
Re-
surgeries.
resilient woman you are.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Well, God is winning, isn't it? Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
So she's got an affinity to hospitals.
Affinity.
Affinity for hospitals.
That's a good term too. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. Not
Were you
that she
wondering-
wants to, but.
Were you wanting to do something with the machines? Did you talk about part of your study is going to be with
The engineering of the machines.
Mhm.
medical machines?
Yeah. Yeah. You know that Alba Schubeicher was a pastor, but also missionary, but medical doctor, right?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
We have lots of other role model,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
so you can be a professional dancer, or what would you like to
Gymnast.
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 Yeah.
She
Okay.
doesn't know what's happening.
So professional gymnast. We can also impact to the people, right?
What?
You can influence to the people. Good influence.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Megan, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
A teacher.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Especially inner city teacher? No? See, America is this is more the modern revolution. That many young people like you who has a good study, like college graduate, they are not just seeking for higher paid job, but they all dedicated it for social change. So that's why they come to more poverty-driven area, be a teacher. So that is what is the program, like American?
Teacher, yeah, what's
Yes.
the one that Julia's been involved in?
Julia, who's here at Mission U, she
Yes.
And then,
is,
no, Julia's.
Yeah.
her mom.
Yeah, that is a very significant program.
She's in, applying for AmeriCorps. She was in it 2 years ago
Mhm.
as a geometry tutor for students at risk of not graduating on time.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
So she tutored geometry. Now she's coming back in order to become a site supervisor.
uh-huh.
So she would manage everybody, manage the tutors, the volunteers, the staff, at one of the sites at the high schools.
Yeah, so that's why teacher can influence so many great things. You have lots of good teachers, right, in your life. And so, especially young people who committed it to such a value, that renewed our society right now. You know, all like Milwaukee, Chicago, everywhere in the inner city, there is so much violence and so much poverty that, that under profit. But the young people went there as such a social transformer, as an educator. I think that's very important. And I think that's, you're going to be a missionary as a teacher. That's
Great teacher.
great teacher, yeah.
My daughter Julia graduated from UW Madison in physics and astrophysics too.
Uh-huh.
And she thinks that school is so important that maybe she should switch into becoming a teacher, school administrator, that the principal at the high school she was at was such a huge influence to get all students working together toward their future.
Yeah. So we all needed each other. Yeah, teacher, pastor, scientist, physician, and gymnast.
You're so young still. You've
Yeah.
got lots of time to think
Yeah,
about what you're going to do
yeah.
with your life.
But your mother's proud of you anyway,
Oh.
Sure.
and so is your grandma.
But I think I'm so glad that this kind of conversation together. Because, yes, many people influenced to me, teachers and pastors, and of course, my grandparents and parents and so on. But the influence we got is you're not able to count sometimes, but deep, right? Very persuasive influence you and I have through this life. I think that's why this kind of conversation is so important. You're a cool guy.
What?
You're cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm impressed. The bishop thinks you're cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
We have to be down, what time is plenary?
Is it 11:15?
Can I get a picture with the bishop?
Oh, yes?
Yes.
It's 11 o'clock right now.
Is it 11:15 when it's?
I think 11:20 is when